This is Ed Mendez of the Live 5 board, and I'm here with Jaron, Francis, and Kristina Hughes of Broadway Mime, whose show Filling Holes is the 4th show in the Live 5 season. So welcome, guys. So tell me a little bit about Broadway Mime.
Broadway Mime is my company that I formed to do this show. It came out of a desire to combine different schools of thought in terms of theatrical storytelling. The name comes from two different ideas in particular. Sort of the more commercial, spectacle-oriented theater that makes me think of Broadway shows. And the stuff that's got a little bit more meat on its bones, maybe stuff that's harder for an audience to swallow and asks more of them, which would be something like mime, or it makes me think of mime anyway, something that has a tendency to turn a lot of people off. But not because it's not worth something, just because it asks something of them. So that's where the name comes from. It's also the first acting gig I had was as the Broadway Mime.
Ah, very nice.
There's meaning.
Very nice there. So, Filling Holes, why did you guys decide to write the show together, I guess?
Well, Jaron and I thought that we should start writing together, and we started to collaborate on, we would each write a scene and then switch, and kind of grew out of that. But why we started writing this particular one was because we were sort of interested in addressing this idea that instead of developing emotional connections, we develop sexual ones, and then we're not able to really
Well, when I read, Kristina started the writing process, and when I read her first scene that she wrote, what drew me into it was the sense that the people that she'd written about were people who reflected sort of a sociological trend that I'd been wondering about for the last couple of years, which is what's going to happen now that we have all this stuff at our fingertips through cell phones, through text messaging, through everybody's got a laptop everywhere you go, through Facebook. Facebook's sort of the pinnacle of that development. And what's going to happen to all these people who, now that they have access to everyone they know at their fingertips at all times, just what's that going to do to them? Mm-hmm. And in general,
ability to communicate on sort of an emotional level.
Yeah, and in a personal way. And the thing that I saw happening to most of the people I know is that it's actually worsened their ability to do that. So that was what interested me off the top, and we've just kind of, I don't know, taken the ball and run with it with that idea in mind.
Very nice, very nice. And it's very true. I mean, with communication being the way it is, like, I can't remember my friends' birthdays unless I check Facebook, and I'm sure it's going to end up coming to
your whole life's in a calendar on your cell phone now.
Exactly.
Yeah, and how I had a conversation with somebody recently about how is it appropriate after you go on a date with somebody, do you text them first or do you call them first? Now there's this new etiquette about that. And so I've just sort of watched over the last few years myself and some of my friends develop these relationships that mean nothing. Mm-hmm. And what happens to you when you live in that bubble, so to speak.
Nice.
So.
Well, there you go. It's addressing a very contemporary, very true to ourselves issue here. Very nice. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me who else is involved in the show? So obviously you two are playing the leads, which is very interesting.
Jaron and myself, we have a Regina import, Kate Harriet, and Matt Burgess and Lauren Holfier. So we've got a really great cast. Directed by Pamela Haig-Bartley and stage managed by Liz King. And one of the other really cool things about this particular show is that we've got several scenes that are pre-recorded. So we had a director of photography, Adrian Smith, and we filmed all these scenes and they look smoking hot. So we're really excited about that. We go back and forth between live and filmed. So that's a really neat thing too.
There you go. Well, guys, it's been great having you. Just before we go, can you tell me what your show dates are?
The show opens on the 25th and runs to the 27th, 25th to the 27th, with a Pay What You Can preview on the 24th. And then the next weekend it runs as well, Thursday to Sunday, which is the 31st to the 3rd. And the shows are all at 8 p.m.
And there's 8 chances. So if you say you work, you're lying.
Well, there you go. Thank you guys very much for your time today, and I look forward to seeing you on stage.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Ed.